Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Spoken Afro, but you guys can call me Afro because of what? Friends, yeah, exactly. Notice anything new? Notice anything new? I'm gonna give you guys a moment to just guess. Guess. I got a mic. Yes, I got a mic. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so glad I got a mic. The reason why I got a mic is so simple. It's because my flow was loud. Yeah, my flow was loud. Every time I made a movement, I could hear it. And trying to edit out the background noise on the free software, it became an issue. So I was like, let me just get a mic to make it easier on myself. And I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it sounds. It's my first time using it. So you guys let me know how everything sounds on your end. I hope it sounds fine on my end, honestly. So yes, what are we here for? I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. I am here to finally show you guys the second part of my Corazon cosplay. And yes, the hat is important to my explanation. Why? Because I've realized a lot of you actually watch my channel just to support me and not necessarily know the characters I'm cosplaying. Like I just assumed everyone knows the characters I'm cosplaying, but no, that's not the case. And to those people, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone actually for the support. Like it's a hard journey to be on, but you guys are still with me, and that is not only insane in a good way, but it keeps me going and it makes me very grateful. So thank you guys. I'm about to give you guys a heart. Take all this love away. So what I want to do this time around, instead of me just jumping into the makeup and all that stuff, I want to actually like break down the characters and specifically why I chose this character. For example, right, of all the cosplays I've done, I think only two I've done them simply because I thought the character looked cool, and that was my kid cosplay and my Poison Ivy cosplay. I just thought the character looked cool. I was like, hey, I love the design. I want to do this, and so I did. But a lot of times I choose specific characters because I have like a bit of sentimentalness towards them. I'm sure it's not a word. I'm sure it's not a word, but I'm gonna use it. I feel sentimental towards them, and I picked them because of that reason. Sometimes I'll pick a problematic character. I've cosplayed as Sakuna before. I'm not the whole cosplay, but I did my big one day. So with today's character, I'm gonna give you guys a lot of background information. This is not because I want to spoil the show for you. It's not because of that. It's simply because One Piece is a long anime. It's 1,000+ episodes, and I'm 1,000 episodes in. Now, if you had to ask me a few years ago, you gonna watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece, I would be like, hell nah. Chat, please look at my head. Chat, please look at my room. Chat. Do you see when you lie to yourself? You see what happens when you lie to yourself? You become obsessed. And that's what I am right now. I am obsessed. But I just stopped at Wano because I don't want to catch up and think about One Piece. Because if I catch up, what am I supposed to do? Read the manga? I probably would. Don't write me out. I'm probably gonna read the manga one day. But not now. Now I have other things to do. Like talk about this character. So if you guys want to get spoiled on One Piece, you are free to go to this timestamp over here. So you guys can just watch me put on the makeup and then the cosplay. And then you guys can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok for my short form videos, and you can see the pictures all together. I will try to include some of the pictures towards the end because last time I didn't. And someone was like, hey, I actually like you when you did that. And thanks for telling me. Thanks for the input. So I'll try to do that. But for the other pictures, please go to Instagram for that. Okay, so here we go. In 5, we're about to get just versus spoilers or basically One Piece spoilers. 4, are you guys ready? I hope so. Because I'm going to yap. 3, I'm very serious about me yapping, guys. So I need you guys to grab your popcorns and be ready. 2, are you ready? 1. All I need is one mic. Let's go. So here is the question that is most significant right now. Who is Don Quixote Corazon, right? Or was it not say to be more specific? But for me to explain Corazon, I need to explain two other characters, and that is Don Quixote do Flamingo and Trafalgar Law, right? Because all three of them actually coincide in each other's backstories, and for me to explain one, I would need to explain the other. Okay, so what happened is in One Piece, you have these beings called the Celestial Dragons. Wait a second, let me land. So, in One Piece, if I were to describe it, I would say the hierarchy system would be, from my perspective, from my perceptive, whatever, I'm using the wrong word, I don't care. I should care. If the manager is important to me. Let me focus. So the hierarchy system, from my point of view, it feels more like it is the people, right? It's the people of the land. It is the kings and queens ruling that land, like Alabaster, um, Drum Island, etc., right? Then it is the pirates or the Marines pirates, vice versa. It depends on, because the pirates here to me is because they're here because they live by their own rules, so they're not really living by the codes and ethics of the land, you know. But they're also constantly being targeted by the Marines. So it would be the people, kings and queens, pirates, followed by the Marines, world government, and then the celestial dragons. So if I were to describe it properly, I would say it is the gods among gods. And to me, in my perspective, I don't think the celestial dragons are good people. Hold that thought, hold that thought. Let's get back to why I mentioned the celestial dragons. I mentioned them because Doflamingo, Corazon, and his whole entire family were actually celestial dragons. Yes, celestial dragons. And they decided, well, I won't say they decided, more so the father decided that, hey, I don't feel like being a celestial dragon anymore. I want to live among the people I rule. So, not rule, but like live among the people, right? And he had a good idea, just not something I would have agreed with, right? Because the celestial dragons live a life of opulence. They live a life where they have slaves. I don't know how to decorate this. I don't know what to say. They have slaves. They are slave owners. And that's not the worst thing they do. There's more entirely batshit crazy things that they do. That's why I'm saying they're bad people. To me, right? You guys can disagree, and that's okay. But essentially, they live a life that most common folks cannot relate to. And to have someone be like, oh, I'm a celestial dragon, I'm gonna live among the people, and think the people who are being tortured by celestial dragons will be hunky dory about it. What a choice. We're making choices that don't make any sense. So he took his family, him, his wife, his son, Doflamingo at that stage, who was like 10 years old, and Rosinante, aka Corazon, who was 6 at the time, and they went down to Earth. And the Celestial Dragon was like, hey, if you want to do this, we're going to give you like a bit of money, a place to live, all that shit. And then it's done. You are done. You're no longer a Celestial Dragon. Like, the ties between you and us is done. And then the father was like, that's cool. The people here are good people. They're good people. They're good people to people who don't enslave them. Just saying. Anyways, so that happened. And then the people from the land they were residing in were like, did you guys hear through the grapevine that celestial dragons live among us? People were like, live among us? Not on my watch. Not on my watch. So they all got together and they essentially drove them out of where they were living, and they lived in squalor for quite a while. Like, they were going through poverty, like looking through dustbins for food, not having clothes to change into. And I don't know, I'm assuming due to stress of everything that went down, the mom's health took a dip, and then her life took a dip. So she was gone, and it was a bit hard on the family. So the dad was like, hey, calls like, "Hey, celestial dragons, how y'all doing? How you doing? Can y'all like at least take my kids back?" So celestial dragons were like, "No, dude, we said it is finito between us. So y'all no longer celestial dragons. You just people. Buy it and don't call this number. Lose it." So at that stage, once you start to look at like Doflamingo, you start to realize that this kid, low key, um, I don't know if it's a question of nature versus nurture, because the way he functions, you could always tell there was hate in his heart. Quite literally, like he was very much a keen to the lifestyle of being a celestial dragon. He believes that he's above people at age 10, mind you, but he believes it because that was his reality until his dad decided, nope, I'm gonna live among the people, and thus changing his life drastically. Drastically, Um, but you can tell that, like an instance like that where his mom passed on, he couldn't even grieve what going like the loss of his own mother, because he was so angry at his father for putting him through this, that he just left. And they no not lived not lived not li- lived yet. They went through some other things where they walk around looking for food, stuff like that. And there was a time where they found them and they tortured them essentially. And in that moment, Doflamingo, he vowed that he would basically take everyone's life there, because how the hell are you gonna torture Celestial Dragon and get away with it? Bum. So that's what basically happened. And then I'm not too sure. I think they managed to get down from like the torture, and again, like Dopamine was like, this ain't it. Honestly, it really isn't it. So I'm not sure at the time. Like now, I think there was a time Doflamingo went on to find like a group of people who supported him, and they gave him basically a weapon to take out his father, and that's what he did. He he took it. He aimed, and he took his father's head back to the celestial dragons, being like, "Hey, I took him out. Take me back." And they said, "Nah, that's it." Obviously, the question is, where is Corazon? Corazon was so traumatized at the idea of seeing his brother, essentially the only other person he loved, I guess, take out the other person that he loved, their father, and feeling no remorse over it. I think that broke him, so he ran away. And Doflamingo went on to have his own pirate crew, whereas Corazon, he went on to be found by, and this is gonna kill me to say this because I also have my biggest issue with the Marines. He went on to be found by Sengoku, who works as in the Marines. And why I say I have a complicated relationship with the Marines is because in One Piece, right, we're led to believe by the story that pirates are bad people. Okay, in the world of One Piece, pirates are bad people, and the Marines are quote unquote the good people. But because we follow the journey of One Piece through the eyes of our main protagonist, Luffy, we are led to believe that most pirates are like Luffy. And I am here to say that is not the case. No. No. Luffy may walk around liberating people from their oppressors, but that is Luffy. Luffy cares for the freedom, and he believes that all, like, for him to achieve his freedom, everyone should be free, right? But a lot of time, the pirates are more so like Eustace Kid. They're like Kid. They're like menaces, man. They go to different islands, crack shit up, take shit, go, basically. So in that aspect of life, I can understand why the Marines exist, to protect the people. But who the Marines are in concept and who the Marines are in practice are entirely two different things. Basically, the cops, if I'm being fair. Like, if I ever found myself in danger and the only option I had was to call the cops, I'd rather not, because I've seen how they function. Basically, they're gonna what? Give me paperwork and then do what? Not really a fan of the cops, therefore not really a fan of the Marines. But you know, with Marines like Kobe, existing, I guess Helmelpo by extension, there is a change occurring within the Marines, so I can't necessarily write them off per se until I got to Sabodi arc. Ooh! Sorry for screaming. But oh my god. Like I said, right? Celestial Dragons are not good people. I say this because when I got to Sabodi arc, these people were quite literally hosting an auction to sell people. Let me say one more time. They were hosting an auction to sell people and different species that exist in One Piece. And guess who was giving them protection? The Marines. Do you guys see why I'm not really a fan of them? You guys see why I'm not really a fan of them? So, yeah. But anyways, there are people, Marines like Corazon too. There's also Marines like Nami's mom. So I have a very complicated relationship with how I feel towards the Marines. But yes, he grew up within the Marines, and Goku basically acted like a pseudo brother, as like a pseudo father to Corazon, and he gave Corazon a mission. He was like, "Hey, you are like Rosnate, like Don Quixote. You are Doflamingo's brother. Why don't you infiltrate Doflamingo? Because like as a pirate, that man is a menace. He's a menace. I mean, I can understand why they gave him like a warlord title, just to like like keep him in the reins because before he does more factions to other islands, as he has done to Dressrosa. So they send him to like a mission where he has to go undercover and he has to essentially take down his brother. So this is where we get to meet this character, Trafalgar Law. Yes. So Law is at this stage, I think he's 10, and he has just went through the worst travesty of his life. He lived on an island where there was a disease going around and essentially everyone died. Everyone died except him. He lost his mom, his dad, his little sister. And a loss like that can really drive a lot of hate in your heart if it's not redirected. Like if that grief is not redirected to something positive, it can turn into hatred. And I understand that. So at that stage, he was found by Doflamingo. And Doflamingo saw the same hatred that he had as a kid in the eyes of Law, and he thought I could essentially groom him into becoming my successor. And when he was introduced to the crew, I wish I could remember the crew like Doflamingo's crew, but I don't remember it like the name. I remember the guy with the ugly laugh, like hated, hated that laugh so much. Oh my gosh, I remember that guy. I remember baby something. I'm terrible with names, guys. It's gonna become a very recurring occurrence in my channel. I'm very bad at names, but anywho, so they get to a crew and Doflamingo is like, "Yo, Law, welcome to the crew. This is everyone, and this is my brother, my baby brother. He had like like something happened to him when he disappeared, so now he can't speak, and also he hates kids. So he would like I don't know how like the first few times you see Corazon around kids, you think, oh, he's a menace. Why is he kicking kids? But you later learn that the reason why he did that is because he wants to protect them kids. He wants to protect the kids away from Doflamingo because he understands the amount of evil that his brother has, and grooming people into becoming like him is something that he does not want to see. So he would often kick the kids to try and like punch the kids to try and like discourage them from joining the crew. But only three kids sticked around, and it was I'm gonna put pictures here. Was her, him, and Law. So cool. They were busy discussing something. Now I'm just giving you guys a whole recap of my reviewing a recap. I sound like AR right now. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so cool. He later found out that Law's real name is Trafalgar D. Law, right? And in One Piece, you soon learn that in One Piece, having the the title D within your name, it means oh you are danger. You are Khafar, you are I don't know man, it just basically means like the path that you're gonna walk on in life is gonna be very significant. That's how I would like to describe it in my most complex English. Mara, oh, dangerous, man. You are a dangerous person and you could do dangerous things in the future. So when then he heard that, when Corazon heard that, he was like, I don't want a kid with the name with the letter D anywhere around Doflamingo. So no. Then he essentially spoke to spoke to Law and he was like, yo, there's a situation, blah 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 blah. Then Law was like, okay, the fuck? What are you on? It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna die in 6 months, so it's fine. Let me go. And then cousin was like, 6 months? What do you mean? And I was like, yeah, I got a sickness. I won't be here for long. And yeah, so so the next 6 months was basically Corazon just trying his darnest to help Law out, and he eventually did so by learning that Law's fruit, I don't know the name, but it heals all. So Law's fruit can basically heal Law, and then he went on to do that, and he found the fruit by basically double crossing his brother and the Marines. Oh no, oh Corazon, Corazon. Uh, but he became such an impactful character to me because he. At first, I thought, oh, he probably did all of that because he found out that Law was like a D, right? Only to realize that he did all of that because he just wanted to help this kid out. He had no other he had no other motive, and he just did that from the kindness of his heart. And I found it very endearing because in those 6 months, despite him facing failure after failure after failure, because no doctor could help him. Like if doctor was like, we can't heal this kid, say your goodbyes. He was still stubborn as hell, and he would try time and time again to help him out. And I thought that was really cool to see, honestly. So, with that being said, he basically gave Law the best 6 months of his short life, and then he found the fruit, and then he gave it to Law. And there was a moment where I feel like, oh, it would do you guys wrong if I explained it. But just know, in his final moments is when I realized how impactful Corazon is as a character. And then you guys will get to see the rest by yourself. Oh, so that is the reason why I picked this character, because he left a lasting impression on me, and I hope this explanation gives you guys enough motivation to go watch the anime. Okay. I'm gonna be back on camera with my base makeup on, and then all we're gonna do is the eye and the lips, and then put on my cosplay and just have a good time, y'all. So thank you for listening to me yap for so long, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Okay, bye. Okay, so don't mind the harsh lines on my face. I was trying a new makeup where you blend with a brush. I typically always blend with like a beauty blender, but no, it is what it is. Also, I kind of needed to be harsh because cosplays look like that. With the eyebrows, I didn't really do much with it. I just like combed it up and then tried to shape it. Mostly because I want to cover my eyebrows with my wig. So yeah, on to the next part, which is doing this part, the blue part. I'm gonna do the blue part with this Fushini thingamabobiki that I bought years ago, and it's gonna look something like this. It's gonna look something like this. It's gonna be on this side. Okay, it's gonna be on this side. It's gonna be 4 lines. Sorry, I'm supposed to show you guys. It's gonna look something like this. Essentially. Okay. So I'm just gonna go with the flow, hold through the base, and I'm gonna use my phone as a mirror because okay, I'm using a different brush, this one, because I felt like the other one was just a little bit too thick So I do think next time I do this cosplay, I'm going to use something different to paint the blue onto my face, because when this dries up, it dries flaky, and I didn't really like the experience on my face or having to like paint it on my face. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna pour in more water. I'm gonna use the bigger brush just to get it right. Yeah. Okay, I grabbed a different brush. I grabbed like an art brush because I need something that was like a little bit more flexible. We're gonna wait for this to dry, and I'm gonna do the lips. With the lips, I plan on using this. It is a cute lip gloss. I hope it's not finished, but it's from Isabella Garcia. I really love the color. It's the right amount of red that I need, and I'm just gonna first do my lips, and then go with the flow. Go with the flow, and I think we'll be done. The peripheral rigid in my right eye, not gonna lie, kinda shoddy. This side, kinda shoddy. Okay, let me see if I can clean up. I'll grab tissue. Okay, I'm back. And I think just one more round of maybe everything. Looks like it's cracking. And that's okay, because I'm gonna use the setting powder, so setting spray, so it's gonna like hopefully make it look less crusty and more and more. Okay, last one. Okay, so like this is like the final makeup look. I put thingy on. I attempted to put on lashes, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I put like a primer here. My primer here is like a jelly liquid thing, because the water was like making it dry up. So I just put it there just to hold on, just to take photos and stuff. Now what is left is to put on my my wig, and everything else will be turning to that side of my room. So yeah, let's put this together. Yeah. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, comes an end to my madness. Thank you all for trusting the process. Let me show you what the full cosplay looks like. It looks like this. So this is the shirt. And in the midst of my excitement, my mic cut because I think I shut it down by mistake. But anywho, this is basically me showing the sort of outfit, and the perfume I used was called Burberry Goddess from Perfumology. I just want to share that because sometimes when you cosplay, you just want to look good and smell good. And trust me, I smelled good. Okay. I'm just taking another step back to show you guys how my outfit looked like, how everything turned out, and I'll give it to you. I was really excited. Like, I was so excited that everything worked out together. I was cosplaying on a very, very hot day, so unfortunately, despite my excitement, I was sweating my makeup off. I was sweating. I was just sweating. I was dying. I'm someone who does not really enjoy feeling extremely hot or feeling extremely cold. I prefer to be neutral. And putting on this jacket, despite how happy I was, like, you can see my face is glowing. You can see I'm genuinely so happy. Like, this is everything I wanted and more. And I just had to like dance my happiness out. But I was feeling very, very overwhelmed by just the size of my jacket and how physically it felt on my body. The texture is not bad. I'm almost a bit sensitive to texture, but for what it's worth, this was a good cosplay and everything just looked amazing together. Despite all the madness I went through just to put together, I was clearly so happy. I will say I look forward to doing this cosplay again because there will be a part 2. I have something I want to do with regards to this cosplay, so do look out for that video in the near future. Until then, guys, I look forward to talking to you again. Okay, bye.